Hello, my lovely ladies and handsome gents. Welcome back to Talk to the Hand Reviews, where I review stuff. Today, I have to tell you about something so special. This fragrance. See how it matches my earrings? This fragrance is called KL for Karl Lagerfeld. I really want to do a video about this fragrance because it is no longer around. It's I think you can only get discontinued bottles, maybe from eBay. I found this one. This is the Parfum, and I got it at a thrift store. I couldn't believe it. This would have cost like probably at least $150, and it is the pure Parfum, and it still smells good. Can you believe that? For however old it must be. So I had this fragrance back in the day. I used to sell it when I worked behind the counter in the late 80s in a department store in women's fragrances, and I remember when it came out, or I don't remember, wait, when did it come out? It came out, no, I wasn't there when it came out, but I sold it later on because it came out in 82 or 83. I found two different sources. One said 82, one said 83. So anyways, it's definitely been discontinued. This fragrance, it is so special, and I feel like it was just a victim of bad timing or something because it was discontinued. And I remember when we had it, when we sold it, it was down on the, you know how in department stores there are all these cases that show all the fragrances, and it was down at the part of the cases where Opium was right next to it. You know Opium from Yves Saint Laurent, and they're very similar fragrances, but I like KL better. It's spicier. It's a fresher spice. It's like a fruitier, like an orangey spice. You know, almost a little bit like, have you ever had that tea called Constant Comment? It's an orange, it's a tea with some orange essence in it. It's kind of like that. It's not the same, but it's kind of like it. And the reason I wanted to show you these earrings too is because back in the day when I worked behind the counter and KL was one of the fragrances we sold, and we went to these big Christmas parties, we would get the products, and anything associated with Karl Lagerfeld, they were always very generous to us. So I had at least one spray of it. I know I had the cream. I don't remember if I had the lotion or not, but I do remember owning it and using it a lot. And I also owned and used Opium a lot. I find the distinct difference between the two. They're so similar, but the difference between the two, when I wear Opium, something about Opium, it feels more like sexual. It's like I don't know what it is. It's like more of it drags you down into bed or something. You know, it's just more of a sexual, sexy fragrance, Opium. But KL is also that, but it's more like I'm sexy, but I'm still running around and I'm doing all these things that I like doing. It's just a beautiful spice fragrance. So these earrings, by the way, were given to me from the Christmas party from Karl Lagerfeld fragrances when KL came out, because the bottle, by the way, was designed by Karl Lagerfeld. He also designed the men's Lagerfeld bottle that I know, and probably more too. Oh, I love it. I really love it. And I'm not really a person who's crazy about stronger fragrances. It's a bit of a stronger fragrance. Oh man. Being an heirloom that this is, I'm going to put some on, but I'm going to be really careful about it. Woo! It's where I want to be. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be right back. Oh, KL. Very special fragrance. And, you know, part of history now. Probably never come around in the same way. Yeah, so I think that this fragrance is just a victim of bad timing, and maybe it was sort of eclipsed by YSL Opium, which is a great fragrance, but I think this one was better. It just, you know, it didn't have the pull. I remember the Opium display was like an entire case, and I think the KL display was much smaller. It was a smaller, I think it just was a smaller fragrance in popularity. My feelings about it are, I love it. It's a spice I can wear. That's the truth, because a lot of stronger fragrances or spicier fragrances are hard for me to wear. It has spicier notes at the top, fresh and spicy at the top. It's playful. It's sweeter than Cinnabar or Opium. Cinnabar being it's a similar fragrance, but it wasn't as sweet. And when I say sweet, I don't mean gourmand. I mean more like orangey sweet. Like, and back in the day, you know, I found out recently, because I was curious as to why there's so many gourmand fragrances now. There's so many fragrances that smell like food, and that didn't exist back when I was selling fragrances. And I found out that in the mid-90s, whatever they do, whatever their chemistry is that they do in the fragrance industry, that they somehow figured out how to, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but they figured out how to isolate molecules that smelled more like food, like gourmands and vanillas and things like that, because there was hardly any vanilla or, you know, chocolatey smelling fragrances back in that time. Okay, I know you want to know what it smell like. I just like to let people know what other people think this fragrance smells similar to, especially now because it's hard to get it. So it's still out there, and you see I found one serendipitously at the thrift shop. Lordy, who'd have thought? There it was, and I was like, oh, well, the juice is probably not any good, but the bottle is certainly, you know, a collector's item, and I know what it is, and probably not that many people do. And I brought it home. I was totally delighted that it still smells so good, that it still smells, it's Parfum, you know, so it still smells really good. It still smells just like it did, which is fantastic. So if you want to go experience this fragrance, you know, you might be able to get it like on eBay or something. If you buy a Parfum, you probably have a better chance of getting something that still smells good. That's been my experience. Is these older, I have these mini bottles that I've had for a long time that, the Parfums, some of them are still smell really good, but the eau de toilettes and the colognes don't. So what's it smell like? Number one, 82 people thought it smells like Estee Lauder Cinnabar. So there you go. That's still available. And I'm a little embarrassed because I thought it was, I didn't think it was available anymore. And then one of the viewers told me, well, it is still available, you know. And I was like, oh, because I don't want to look a fool telling people misinformation, but sometimes it happens. So Cinnabar is still there, but Cinnabar is not as sweet. I find Cinnabar, okay, if Opium is sexy, but here, Cinnabar is not as sexy, but it's a nice fragrance. It's here. KL is up here in terms of freshness. I don't find Cinnabar to be fresh. I find it to be spicy. Number two, 66 people felt it smelled like YSL Opium. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, they smell it's the same kind of idea. 17 people felt it was like Elizabeth Taylor's Passion. No, it smells nothing like Elizabeth Taylor's Passion. Sorry, you guys that thought you 22 people. No, You 17 people who felt that it was like Passion. It's nothing like Passion. But if you like Passion, you probably will like KL. And I used to sell Elizabeth Taylor's Passion as well. I launched it. I still have an 8x10 of her holding the bottle of Passion. I just saw it the other day. I would have included it if I remembered it in my Elizabeth Taylor's Passion video. But, okay. 12 people felt it was like Basile from Basile. B-A-S-I-L-E. 12 people thought it was like Basile or Basile from Basile. And then last but not least, 12 people felt it was like Le Parfum from Sonia Rykiel. Le Parfum from Sonia Rykiel. So, but what I think is a fragrance that I've come to really enjoy, that I bought not too long ago, that I'm surprised I like it. I find myself, I smell the bottle up, is, and I spray it around the room. It's called Yes I Am from Cacharel, the first one. They've got like a bunch of flankers, but the first one, it's a spicy, it's much sweeter though. It's definitely more gourmand, which KL is not. But if you like that, I'm just trying to give you some modern day fragrance that might be kind of similar to it. And I think that that's one that I like that has a similar vibe to it. But yeah, one more dance and then we're done. Trying to do the robot. Anyways, KL. KL. KL for Karl Lagerfeld. Yet another amazing piece of history that came from dear old Karl, Uncle Karl. So thanks for coming to see me again. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you feel like watching this kind of content, or you know, like this thing at all, this kind of thing, like if you like this thing, sign up. Go ahead and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next time.